Transgender teen bullied in school, then becomes principal of the same school. How will this story escalate? To find out, watch the video to the end. But first, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to get more stories like this. The small town of Fairview was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else, or at least that's how it felt. It wasn't known for its diversity or progressiveness, but for its charming streets, close-knit community, and high school football games that brought the entire town together. For Alex, a transgender teen growing up in Fairview, it often felt like there wasn't much room for someone like them. Alex had always known they were different. Even as a child, they gravitated toward things that others labeled as wrong for their assigned gender. By the time Alex reached high school, they had embraced their identity and come out as transgender. It was a decision rooted in self-respect and honesty, but it came at a cost. High school hallways were a battlefield. Whispers followed Alex wherever they went, accompanied by the occasional cruel laugh or pointed finger. The taunts started small, comments muttered under breath, notes left on their locker. But over time, they escalated. One of the main perpetrators was a boy named Ryan, the captain of the school's football team and the ringleader of a group of bullies. Ryan seemed to take personal pleasure in making Alex's life miserable. Whether it was mocking Alex's appearance, intentionally bumping into them in the hallway, or spreading vicious rumors, Ryan was relentless. "Hey, Alex," Ryan sneered one day as Alex walked to their locker. "What's it like being the freak show of the school? Bet you love all the attention." Alex gripped the straps of their backpack tightly, willing themselves not to respond. They had learned that engaging only made things worse. "What? No comeback?" Ryan continued, smirking as his friends laughed behind him. "Guess that's what happens when you don't know who you are." Alex bit the inside of their cheek, the words stinging despite their effort to appear unaffected. They focused on opening their locker, trying to ignore the laughter that echoed through the hallway. Lunch was no better. Alex often sat alone, their tray of food untouched as they kept their head down. They had once tried joining a group of classmates, but the awkward silences and sidelong glances had made it clear they weren't welcome. Over time, Alex stopped trying. It was easier to sit alone than to endure the rejection. There was one bright spot in Alex's school life: Miss Carter, their English teacher. Miss Carter was one of the few adults who seemed to see Alex for who they were: a bright, resilient, and compassionate student with a passion for learning. She made a point of checking in with Alex, offering words of encouragement and creating a safe space in her classroom. "You're stronger than you realize, Alex," Miss Carter said one afternoon as Alex stayed behind after class. "I know it feels like the world is against you right now, but this won't last forever. You have so much potential. Don't let them take that away from you." Alex nodded, their throat tight with emotion. Miss Carter's words were a lifeline, a reminder that there was hope beyond the walls of Fairview High. Despite Miss Carter's support, the weight of the bullying sometimes felt unbearable. One day, after an especially cruel incident in the locker room, Alex found themselves sitting on a bench outside the school, their hands trembling as they fought back tears. Ryan and his friends had cornered them after gym class, pulling at their clothes and jeering as Alex struggled to break free. "What's the matter, Alex?" Ryan had taunted. "You can't even defend yourself? Guess that proves how pathetic you really are." The humiliation had been too much. Alex had bolted from the locker room, their heart pounding and their face burning with shame. Now, sitting alone on the bench, they wondered if it was even worth staying at Fairview High. Maybe it would be easier to leave to start fresh somewhere else. But as the thought crossed their mind, Alex remembered Miss Carter's words. This won't last forever. The idea planted a seed of determination. Maybe they couldn't change the way people treated them now, but that didn't mean they had to let it define their future. At home, Alex found solace in their room, where they could be themselves without fear of judgment. Posters of inspirational figures lined the walls. Activists, artists, and leaders who had fought for change in the face of adversity. Alex often turned to their journal, pouring their thoughts and dreams onto the pages. One entry read, "One day, I want to make a difference. I want to be the person I needed when I was younger. Someone who stands up for others and shows them they're not alone." That dream became Alex's anchor. It gave them something to hold on to during the darkest moments, a reminder that their current reality didn't have to be there forever. As the weeks turned into months, Alex found small ways to reclaim their power. They joined the school's art club, where they discovered a love for painting and found a few kindred spirits who shared their passion. Though they still faced challenges, the club became a sanctuary, a place where they could express themselves freely and connect with others who appreciated their creativity. One day, the art teacher, Mr. Lopez, approached Alex as they worked on a mural for the school hallway. "This is incredible, Alex," he said, admiring the vibrant colors and intricate details. "You have a real talent." Alex smiled, the compliment warming their heart. "Thanks, Mr. Lopez. It feels good to create something positive." Mr. Lopez nodded. "Art has a way of doing that. It's a powerful tool for change. Never underestimate the impact your voice and your art can have." The conversation stuck with Alex. It reinforced the idea that they had something valuable to contribute, even in a place where they often felt invisible. By the time Alex reached senior year, they had developed a quiet resilience. They still faced bullying, but they no longer let it define them. They focused on their passions, their dreams, and the small victories that gave them strength. Graduation day was bittersweet. As Alex walked across the stage to receive their diploma, they couldn't help but feel a mixture of relief and determination. They were leaving behind a place that had caused them so much pain, but they were also carrying with them the lessons they had learned. The importance of perseverance, the value of kindness, and the belief that they could create a better future. As they stepped off the stage, diploma in hand, Alex glanced at Ms. Carter, who gave them a proud smile and a thumbs up. It was a small gesture, but it meant the world to Alex. They had made it through, and now the real journey was about to begin. The summer after graduation was a turning point for Alex. They spent their days preparing for college, eager to leave Fairview behind and start a new chapter in a place where they could truly be themselves. Acceptance letters from several universities arrived in the mail, but one stood out: Riverton University, known for its progressive values and diverse student body. It felt like a fresh start, a chance to build a life where Alex's identity wasn't just tolerated but celebrated. With their bags packed and their heart full of cautious optimism, Alex said goodbye to their parents and the town that had shaped them in both painful and profound ways. Stepping onto the Riverton campus was like entering a different world. Students from all walks of life filled the quads and lecture halls, their laughter and conversations creating an atmosphere of energy and acceptance. For the first time in years, Alex felt a sense of belonging. They quickly found a group of friends who embraced them without hesitation, an eclectic mix of artists, activists, and dreamers who shared Alex's passion for creating change. Late-night study sessions turned into deep conversations about identity, justice, and the power of resilience. One friend, Maya, became a particularly close confidant. A fellow activist with a fiery spirit, Maya encouraged Alex to use their experiences to make a difference. "You've been through so much," Maya said one evening as they sat under the stars. "Your story has the power to inspire others. Don't let it go to waste." Alex nodded, her words resonating deeply. "I want to make a difference," they said. "I just don't know where to start." "Start with what you know," Maya replied. "Your voice is powerful. Use it." Inspired by Maya's advice, Alex threw themselves into their studies, focusing on education and social justice. They attended workshops, joined advocacy groups, and began speaking at events, sharing their story and advocating for inclusive policies. One such event was a panel on bullying and mental health, where Alex spoke about their experiences at Fairview High. The audience was captivated by their honesty and courage, and after the panel, several attendees approached Alex to thank them. "Your story really moved me," one young woman said, her voice trembling. "I felt so alone, but hearing you speak gave me hope." Moments like these reminded Alex why they had chosen this path. They weren't just healing their own wounds, they were helping others find strength and resilience. As college progressed, Alex began to envision their future with increasing clarity. They wanted to work in education, not just as a teacher but as a leader, someone who could shape policies and create environments where all students felt safe and supported. The decision wasn't an easy one. The memories of their time at Fairview High still lingered, and the idea of stepping back into a school environment was daunting. But Alex knew that change had to start somewhere, and they were determined to be part of it. By the time Alex graduated from Riverton University, they had earned not only a degree but also a reputation as a passionate advocate for equality. They received job offers from several schools, but one opportunity caught their attention: a position at Fairview High. The idea of returning to the place that had caused them so much pain was both terrifying and exhilarating. Part of Alex wanted to decline, to leave the past behind and continue building a life elsewhere. But another part of them, the part that dreamed of making a difference, knew they couldn't walk away. "If I don't go back," Alex confided to Maya during a phone call, "nothing will ever change. That school needs someone who understands what it's like to be on the other side." Maya's voice was filled with pride. "Then go back and show them who you've become. Prove to them and to yourself that you're stronger than they ever gave you credit for." Alex accepted the position, stepping into their new role as an educator with equal parts trepidation and determination. The first day back at Fairview High was surreal. The building looked the same, but everything else felt different. Alex wasn't the scared, isolated teen they had once been. They were now a confident adult with a clear sense of purpose. Still, walking through the familiar hallways brought back a flood of memories. They passed the locker where Ryan and his friends had cornered them so many times, the cafeteria where they had eaten lunch alone, the classroom where Miss Carter had offered words of encouragement that had kept them going. Alex paused outside Miss Carter's old room, now occupied by a new teacher. They smiled, remembering the woman who had believed in them when few others did. "Thank you," Alex whispered. The words meant for Miss Carter even though she wasn't there to hear them. The first few weeks were challenging. Some students were curious about Alex's identity, while others seemed wary. A few even whispered behind their backs, reminding Alex of the cruelty they had once endured. But this time, Alex refused to let it shake them. They focused on building relationships with their students, creating a classroom environment where everyone felt seen and valued. They incorporated lessons on empathy and inclusion into their curriculum, using stories and activities to spark meaningful conversations. One day, during a discussion about bullying, a student raised their hand. "Mr. Alex," they said, using the gender-neutral honorific Alex had chosen, "have you ever been bullied?" Alex hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, I have," they said. "It was one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. But it also taught me the importance of standing up for what's right and being kind to others. That's why I'm here, to make sure no one else has to feel the way I did." The classroom fell silent, the weight of Alex's words sinking in. For the first time, Alex felt like their students truly saw them, not just as a teacher but as a person. Word of Alex's impact began to spread throughout the school. Students who had once been indifferent started to speak up against bullying, inspired by Alex's example. Teachers who had been skeptical of Alex's hiring began to see the positive changes in their students and their school. Even some of the parents, who had initially expressed concern about Alex's presence, started to come around. At a parent-teacher conference, one mother approached Alex with tears in her eyes. "I'll admit, I wasn't sure how I felt about you being here," she said, "but my daughter comes home every day talking about how much she's learning from you. Not just about schoolwork, but about life. Thank you for being here." Alex smiled, their hearts swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for giving me a chance," they said. Despite the progress, there were still challenges. Some staff members remained resistant to change, and a few parents continued to voice their objections. But Alex refused to be discouraged. They focused on the students, knowing that even small victories could make a big difference. One day, as Alex walked through the hallways, they noticed a group of students decorating a bulletin board with messages of kindness and acceptance. One of the posters read, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Alex felt a lump rise in their throat. Those words, so simple yet so powerful, summed up everything they had been working toward. They were creating change, not just in the school but in the hearts and minds of everyone who walked through its doors. Alex continued to pour their heart into their work, focusing on fostering a sense of belonging in the school community. They knew from personal experience how devastating it could be to feel like an outsider, and they were determined to ensure that no student at Fairview High ever felt that way again. One of Alex's first major initiatives was the creation of a peer mentorship program. The program paired older students with younger ones to provide guidance, support, and friendship. Alex knew that having someone to turn to during difficult times could make all the difference, and the response from the students was overwhelmingly positive. The program quickly gained traction, with dozens of students signing up to participate. One mentee, a shy freshman named Emma, found solace in the program after struggling to adjust to high school life. "Thank you for starting this program," Emma told Alex one day after class. "I didn't think anyone would understand what I was going through, but my mentor has helped me so much. I finally feel like I belong here." Alex's heart swelled with pride. Moments like these reminded them why they had chosen to return to Fairview High despite the painful memories. They weren't just teaching, they were helping to shape a new culture of kindness and understanding. As the weeks turned into months, Alex began to notice a shift in the school's atmosphere. Students who had once been reluctant to speak up were now finding their voices. Teachers who had been resistant to change were starting to embrace new approaches to fostering inclusion. Even the school's principal, Mr. Thompson, took note of the transformation. "Alex, I have to say, you've made a real impact here," Mr. Thompson said during a staff meeting. "Your initiatives have brought a new sense of community to the school, and I'm grateful for everything you've done." Alex smiled, their gratitude genuine. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I just want to make this school a place where everyone feels safe and valued." "You've done more than that," Mr. Thompson replied. "You've inspired all of us to be better." Despite the progress, there were still moments when Alex was reminded of the challenges they had faced as a student. One afternoon, while walking through the hallways, Alex passed a group of students who were huddled near a locker, whispering and snickering. The scene was all too familiar, and Alex's chest tightened as memories of their own experiences flooded back. "Is everything okay here?" Alex asked, their voice calm but firm. The students looked up, startled. One of them, a boy named Daniel, quickly stepped away from the group. "We were just talking," he mumbled, avoiding Alex's gaze. Alex noticed a younger student standing nearby, their shoulders hunched and their eyes downcast. It didn't take much to piece together what had happened. "Daniel," Alex said, their tone unwavering, "let's have a conversation in my office." The rest of the group scattered, leaving Daniel to follow Alex reluctantly. Once inside the office, Alex gestured for Daniel to sit. "Do you know why I asked you to come here?" Alex began. Daniel shrugged, his expression defensive. "We weren't doing anything wrong." Alex leaned forward, their gaze steady. "When I was a student here, I had to deal with a lot of bullying. It made me feel small, invisible, and like I didn't matter. I see a lot of myself in that student you were targeting today, and I won't stand by and let it happen again." Daniel shifted uncomfortably in his seat, the weight of Alex's words sinking in. "I want to understand why you felt the need to treat someone that way," Alex continued. "What were you trying to achieve?" Daniel hesitated, then sighed. "I don't know. I guess I was just trying to fit in. Everyone else was doing it." Alex nodded, their expression softening slightly. "I get it. Wanting to fit in is something we all feel at some point. But hurting someone else to do it isn't the answer. It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you smaller." Daniel looked down, shame flickering across his face. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone." "I believe you," Alex said. "But intent doesn't erase impact. What matters now is what you do next. You have the power to make things right." Daniel nodded slowly, his demeanor shifting. "I'll apologize. Promise." Alex smiled, a sense of hope blossoming in their chest. "That's a good start. And if you ever need someone to talk to, my door is always open." Moments like these were what Alex lived for. They knew that change didn't happen overnight, but every small victory brought them closer to their goal of creating a more inclusive school environment. As the end of the school year approached, Alex reflected on how far they and the school had come. The mentorship program was thriving, bullying incidents had decreased, and the overall atmosphere of the school had become one of acceptance and support. One evening, as Alex was preparing lesson plans at home, they received an unexpected email. The subject line read, "Opportunity for Leadership. Dear Alex, I hope this message finds you well. I've been following the incredible work you've been doing at Fairview High, and I'm beyond impressed. Your dedication to creating an inclusive environment has not gone unnoticed. I wanted to let you know that our principal, Mr. Thompson, has announced his retirement at the end of the school year. As the district superintendent, I'm reaching out to invite you to apply for the position. We believe that your vision and leadership would make a profound impact as the principal of Fairview High. Please let me know if you'd be interested in discussing this further. Best regards, Dr. Helena Carter, Superintendent, Fairview School District." Alex stared at the screen, their heart racing. The idea of becoming the principal of the very school where they had once been bullied was both thrilling and daunting. They had worked tirelessly to make a difference as a teacher, but this opportunity would allow them to take their efforts to an entirely new level. The decision wasn't an easy one. Alex confided in Maya during a phone call, seeking her advice. "I'm scared," Alex admitted. "What if I'm not ready? What if people don't take me seriously?" Maya's voice was steady and reassuring. "Alex, you've already proven that you're more than capable. You've transformed that school as a teacher. Imagine what you could do as the principal. Don't let fear hold you back." Alex took a deep breath, Maya's words giving them the courage they needed. "You're right. This is my chance to make a real impact." The application process was rigorous, but Alex approached it with determination. They prepared a detailed vision plan, outlining initiatives to further promote inclusion, mental health support, and academic excellence. During the interview, Alex spoke passionately about their experiences and their belief in the power of education to change lives. When the call came a few weeks later, Alex could hardly believe their ears. "Congratulations," Dr. Carter said warmly. "We're thrilled to offer you the position of principal at Fairview High." Alex felt a surge of emotions: pride, gratitude, and an overwhelming sense of purpose. They had come full circle, and now they had the opportunity to lead the school that had once been the source of so much pain. The announcement of Alex's appointment as the new principal of Fairview High sent ripples through the community. For many, it was a welcome change, a sign that the school district was moving toward progress and inclusion. But for others, it was met with skepticism and resistance. As Alex prepared for their first day as principal, they couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nerves. Standing in front of the mirror, adjusting their blazer, they took a deep breath and reminded themselves why they had taken on this challenge. This wasn't just about a title, it was about creating lasting change. Walking into the school that morning felt surreal. The same hallways where Alex had endured bullying were now theirs to oversee. Teachers greeted them warmly, some offering words of encouragement, while others were more reserved. Alex knew they had a lot to prove, but they were ready for the challenge. The first staff meeting was a pivotal moment. Alex stood at the front of the room, their hands steady as they addressed the group. "Good morning, everyone," Alex began, their voice clear and confident. "As many of you know, I'm deeply connected to this school. Not just as your new principal, but as someone who once walked these hallways as a student." A murmur spread through the room as some staff members exchanged glances. Alex continued, undeterred. "My time here wasn't easy," they said, their tone sincere. "But those experiences shaped me into the person I am today. They gave me a passion for education and a commitment to creating an environment where every student feels valued and supported." Alex paused, letting their words sink in. "I know change isn't always easy, and I know there are challenges ahead. But I believe in this school, in its students, and in all of you. Together, we can make Fairview High a place where everyone thrives." The room erupted into applause, and Alex felt a surge of hope. It was a small victory, but an important one. Alex wasted no time implementing their vision. They introduced new programs aimed at fostering inclusion and addressing mental health, including peer support groups, diversity workshops, and expanded counseling services. They also revamped the school's anti-bullying policy, making it clear that harassment of any kind would not be tolerated. The changes were met with mixed reactions. Some students and staff embraced the new initiatives, while others resisted, clinging to the old ways of doing things. Alex knew that building trust and shifting mindsets would take time, but they remained steadfast in their mission. One of the first major challenges came during a parent-teacher meeting. A group of parents, led by a particularly vocal father, expressed concerns about the changes Alex was making. "I don't see why we need all these new programs," the man said, his tone sharp. "We've been running this school just fine for decades. Why fix what isn't broken?" Alex met his gaze calmly. "With all due respect, the world is changing, and so are the needs of our students. Our goal is to prepare them for the future, not just academically, but as compassionate, open-minded individuals who can thrive in a diverse society." The man crossed his arms, his expression skeptical. "And what about tradition? Aren't we losing something by trying to change everything?" "Tradition has its place," Alex replied, "but it should never come at the expense of progress. By creating a more inclusive environment, we're not losing anything. We're gaining a stronger, more united community." Some parents nodded in agreement, while others remained unconvinced. Alex knew they couldn't win everyone over in one meeting, but they were determined to keep pushing forward. One of Alex's most ambitious initiatives was the creation of a diversity and inclusion council, made up of students, teachers, and community members. The council's mission was to identify areas for improvement and develop strategies to promote understanding and respect. At the first meeting, Alex encouraged everyone to share their perspectives and ideas. "This council is about collaboration," Alex said. "No one has all the answers, but together, we can create solutions that benefit everyone. I want to hear your voices, your experiences, and your hopes for this school." A sophomore named Lily raised her hand. "I think we need more representation in our curriculum," she said. "We learn about the same historical figures every year, but there's so much more out there. Why don't we include stories from different cultures and perspectives?" Alex nodded, impressed by Lily's insight. "That's a great point, Lily. Representation matters, and it's something we can definitely work on." Another student, a senior named Jamal, spoke up. "I think we need to address how teachers handle bullying. Some of them don't take it seriously, and it makes students feel like they don't have anyone to turn to." Alex's heart ached at Jamal's words, knowing all too well how that felt. "Thank you for sharing that, Jamal," they said. "Accountability is key, and we'll make sure every staff member is trained to handle these situations appropriately." The council's work quickly gained momentum, and the changes they proposed began to take shape. Teachers started incorporating more diverse materials into their lessons, the school held cultural appreciation events, and students began to take more ownership of their community. Even some of Alex's former bullies, now parents of their own children, began to take notice. Ryan, who had tormented Alex during their high school years, showed up at a school event one evening, his expression unreadable. "Principal Alex," he said, his voice hesitant. "Do you have a moment?" Alex turned to face him, their emotions a mix of surprise and curiosity. "Of course, Ryan. What's on your mind?" Ryan shifted uncomfortably, his gaze flickering to the floor. I wanted to say I'm sorry for everything I did back then. I didn't realize how much harm I was causing, and looking back, I'm ashamed of the way I treated you." Alex studied him for a moment, their heart conflicted. They had spent years grappling with the pain Ryan had caused, but hearing his apology felt like a step toward healing. "Thank you for saying that, Ryan," Alex said, their voice steady. "It takes courage to admit when you've done something wrong. I hope you're teaching your own children to do better." Ryan nodded, his expression earnest. "I am, and I hope I can do better too." Moments like these reinforced Alex's belief in the power of growth and redemption. They knew that change was possible, not just for individuals but for entire communities. As the end of Alex's first year as principal approached, they reflected on the progress that had been made. The school was far from perfect, but it was a place where students felt safer, more supported, and more empowered to be themselves. One afternoon, as Alex walked through the hallways, They passed a group of students laughing and chatting near a locker. Among them was Emma, the shy freshman who had found her place through the mentorship program. "Hi, Principal Alex," Emma called out, her smile bright. Alex waved, their hearts swelling with pride. This was why they had come back, to create a space where students like Emma could thrive. Later that evening, Alex received an email from the district superintendent. "Dear Alex, congratulations on a successful first year as principal of Fairview High. Your leadership and vision have brought about meaningful change, and I look forward to seeing what you'll accomplish in the years to come. Best regards, Dr. Helena Carter." Alex closed their laptop, a sense of fulfillment washing over them. They had come full circle, transforming the very place that had once caused them so much pain into a beacon of hope and progress. But this was just the beginning. Alex knew there was still work to be done, and they were ready to keep pushing forward. One step, one conversation, and one act of kindness at a time. As Alex entered their second year as principal, the momentum for change continued to build. The Diversity and Inclusion Council had become a cornerstone of the school's progress, with more students and staff participating than ever before. The mentorship program expanded to include middle schoolers transitioning to high school, helping younger students navigate the challenges of adolescence with guidance from older peers. Alex had also implemented restorative justice practices, replacing punitive measures with opportunities for growth and understanding. When conflicts arose, students were encouraged to sit down together, facilitated by a trained mediator, to discuss the impact of their actions and find ways to repair the harm. One such incident involved Daniel, the same student Alex had spoken to the previous year. He had gotten into an argument with another student, Marco, over a group project, and their disagreement had escalated into a shoving match in the hallway. Rather than suspending them, Alex arranged for a restorative circle. Daniel and Marco sat across from each other in a quiet room, with Alex and the school counselor present to guide the conversation. "Daniel," Alex began, "can you share what happened from your perspective?" Daniel shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "I felt like Marco wasn't pulling his weight in the project. I got frustrated and said some things I shouldn't have. Then he shoved me, and I shoved him back." Marco nodded, his expression remorseful. "I wasn't doing my part, and I know that was wrong. But when Daniel called me lazy, it really hurt. I lost my temper." Alex leaned forward, their voice calm and steady. "Thank you both for sharing your perspectives. The purpose of this circle isn't to assign blame. It's to understand each other and find a way to move forward. How do you think this situation could have been handled differently?" Daniel hesitated, then said, "I could have talked to Marco about how I was feeling instead of calling him names." Marco nodded. "And I could have apologized and tried to do better instead of getting angry." Alex smiled, proud of their willingness to take accountability. "That's a great start. What can you do now to repair the harm and rebuild trust?" After a thoughtful discussion, the two students agreed to work together on a plan for their project, with regular check-ins to ensure they were on the same page. They also committed to treating each other with respect moving forward. Restorative practices like these became a hallmark of Alex's leadership. They knew that punishment alone rarely led to meaningful change. By fostering empathy and communication, they were helping students develop the skills they needed to navigate conflicts in a healthy and constructive way. The impact of these efforts extended beyond the school walls. Parents began to notice changes in their children, who were more open, self-aware, and willing to take responsibility for their actions. At a parent-teacher conference, one mother approached Alex with tears in her eyes. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "My son used to be so angry and closed off, but now he's starting to talk about his feelings and think about how his actions affect others. I see him growing into the kind of person I've always hoped he could be." Alex's heart swelled with gratitude. "That means so much to hear. Thank you for sharing that with me." As the school continued to evolve, Alex found themselves reflecting on their own journey. They often thought about their days as a student, sitting alone in the cafeteria or enduring the taunts of their classmates. Those experiences had been painful, but they had also shaped Alex's resilience and determination. One evening, Alex decided to visit their parents, who had always been their greatest supporters. Sitting around the kitchen table, they shared stories about the changes happening at Fairview High. "I'm so proud of you," Alex's mom said, her voice filled with emotion. "You've taken everything you went through and turned it into something beautiful." Alex smiled, their eyes glistening. "I couldn't have done it without you and Dad. You always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." Their dad reached across the table to squeeze Alex's hand. "You've always had that fire in you, kiddo. We knew you'd do great things." As the year progressed, Alex faced one of their most challenging tests yet. A group of parents, upset by the school's focus on inclusion and restorative practices, organized a petition calling for Alex's resignation. They claimed that the changes were unnecessary and divisive, arguing that the school should return to traditional values. The petition quickly gained traction, and a heated school board meeting was scheduled to address the issue. Alex knew they had to prepare carefully. They spent hours gathering data, testimonials, and evidence of the positive impact their initiatives had made. The night of the meeting, the auditorium was packed with parents, teachers, students, and community members. The atmosphere was tense, with emotions running high on both sides. When it was Alex's turn to speak, they stepped up to the microphone, their heart pounding but their resolve unshaken. "Good evening," they began, their voice steady. "I understand that change can be uncomfortable, and I respect the concerns that have been raised. But I want to take this opportunity to share why these changes are so important. Not just for our school, but for our students and their futures." Alex presented data showing a significant decrease in bullying incidents, an increase in student engagement, and improved academic performance. They shared stories of students who had found their voices, overcome challenges, and grown into compassionate, confident individuals. "This isn't about politics or division," Alex said. "It's about creating a school where every student feels safe, valued, and supported. It's about preparing them for a world that is diverse, complex, and interconnected." Alex's voice softened as they added, "I know what it's like to feel invisible, to feel like you don't belong. That's why I'm here, to make sure no student ever has to feel that way again." When Alex finished, the room was silent for a moment before a wave of applause broke out. Many parents and students stood, their support unmistakable. The school board ultimately voted to continue supporting Alex's leadership and initiatives, a decision that felt like a hard-earned victory. While some resistance remained, the experience only strengthened Alex's determination to keep pushing forward. The following week, Alex received an anonymous note in their office mailbox. The handwriting was careful and neat, and the message was simple. "Thank you for fighting for us." Alex held the note in their hands, their hearts swelling with emotion. It was a reminder of why they had taken on this role, why they had faced the challenges and embraced the opportunities to create change. As the school year came to an end, Alex reflected on the journey they had taken, both as a student and as a leader. They thought about the people who had shaped their path. Ms. Carter, who had believed in them when few others did. Maya, who had encouraged them to use their voice, and their parents, who had stood by them every step of the way. But most of all, Alex thought about the students whose lives they had touched. The shy freshman who had found her confidence, the bully who had learned to take accountability, the young leaders who were now shaping the school's future. Fairview High was no longer just a place of painful memories. It had become a symbol of growth, resilience, and hope. A place where change was possible, where voices could be heard, and where every student mattered. The beginning of Alex's third year as principal felt different. The halls of Fairview High seemed lighter, brighter, filled with a new sense of possibility. The school had transformed, not just in its policies but in its culture. Students walked with confidence, teachers collaborated with enthusiasm, and parents spoke with pride about the progress their children were making. Alex was no longer met with whispers or skepticism. Instead, they were greeted with smiles, waves, and even the occasional thank you note slipped under their office door. The small victories that had once seemed so distant were now everyday realities. One of Alex's proudest moments came during the annual back-to-school assembly. Standing in front of the entire student body and staff, they spoke about the journey they had all taken together. 3 years ago, this school was a different place, Alex said, their voice carrying across the gymnasium. We faced challenges, we had tough conversations, and we made difficult changes. But through it all, we grew stronger. Together, we've created a community that values kindness, respect, and inclusion. The students erupted into applause, and Alex felt a surge of pride. They had come full circle, turning a place that had once been a source of pain into a beacon of hope. As the year went on, Alex continued to push for progress. They worked with the Diversity and Inclusion Council to expand its reach, bringing in guest speakers, hosting community events, and launching new initiatives to support students from all backgrounds. One of the council's most ambitious projects was the creation of a scholarship fund for underprivileged students. The fund, named the Ms. Carter Scholarship in honor of Alex's beloved English teacher, aimed to provide opportunities for students to pursue higher education and achieve their dreams. During the scholarship's launch event, Alex spoke about Ms. Carter's impact on their life. Ms. Carter saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself, Alex said, their voice thick with emotion. She reminded me that I had value, that I had something to offer the world. This scholarship is a way to carry her legacy forward, to remind every student that they are capable of greatness. The audience gave a standing ovation, and Alex felt tears sting their eyes. Ms. Carter's influence had shaped them in ways they could never fully express, and this scholarship was their way of saying thank you. One of the most poignant moments of Alex's tenure came during a student-led assembly. A junior named Sam, who had struggled with their own identity and faced bullying early in high school, took the stage to share their story. When I first came out, I felt so alone, Sam said, their voice trembling but determined. I didn't think anyone would understand, and I thought I'd have to fight this battle on my own. But then Principal Alex came along and showed me that it's okay to be myself. They've created a school where people like me can feel safe and loved. Sam's words brought tears to Alex's eyes. They had always hoped to make a difference, but hearing it directly from a student was a reminder of the profound impact they had made. After the assembly, Sam approached Alex with a shy smile. Thank you, they said simply. Alex smiled back, their voice warm. You're the reason I do this, Sam. Keep being brave. You're changing the world just by being you. As Alex's leadership continued to make waves, the school began to attract attention from beyond the local community. News outlets ran stories about Fairview High's transformation, highlighting its programs and initiatives as a model for other schools. Alex was invited to speak at conferences and panels, sharing their experiences and strategies for fostering inclusion and equity in education. While the recognition was humbling, Alex's focus remained on the students. They knew that real change happened in the everyday moments, the quiet conversations, the acts of kindness, the decisions to stand up for what was right. One day, Alex received an email from Ryan, their former bully who had since become a vocal advocate for the school's initiatives. The subject line read, "Thank you, dear Alex. I've been thinking a lot about the past and the person I used to be. I'm not proud of how I treated you, but I want you to know that your forgiveness and your example have changed me. My kids talk about you all the time, how much they respect you and how much they've learned from you. They're growing up to be better people because of the environment you've created. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for giving me a second chance. And thank you for making Fairview High a place where everyone can thrive. Sincerely, Ryan." Alex read the email with a lump in their throat. They had never sought an apology from Ryan, but receiving it felt like a moment of closure. It was proof that people could change, that the seeds of empathy and understanding could take root even in the unlikeliest of places. By the end of their third year, Alex was presented with an unexpected opportunity. The school district offered them a promotion to oversee equity and inclusion initiatives at a state level. It was a chance to expand their impact, to bring the lessons of Fairview High to schools across the region. The decision wasn't easy. Fairview High had become Alex's home, a place where they had poured their heart and soul into creating change. But as they weighed the opportunity, they realized that their mission was bigger than one school. They had a chance to reach even more students, teachers, and communities. During their final staff meeting as principal, Alex addressed their colleagues with gratitude and hope. "This school will always hold a special place in my heart," they said. "It's where I found my voice, where I learned the power of resilience, and where I witnessed the incredible strength of this community. I may be moving on, but the work we've started here will continue. I know you'll all carry it forward with the same passion and dedication. The room erupted into applause, and Alex felt a wave of emotion. They had built something meaningful, something lasting, and they knew it would continue to thrive. On their last day at Fairview High, Alex took one final walk through the hallways. They stopped at their old locker, running their fingers over the cool metal surface. It was a reminder of how far they had come, from a scared, isolated teen to a confident, compassionate leader. As they stepped outside, they were met with a surprise. Students, teachers, and parents had gathered in the courtyard, holding signs that read, "Thank you, Principal Alex, and you'll always be part of Fairview." Tears filled Alex's eyes as they looked out at the crowd. This was their legacy, a community that had grown stronger, kinder, and more united because of the work they had done together. Alex raised a hand in a wave, their voice steady as they said, "Thank you for believing in me. Keep believing in each other. Together, you can accomplish anything." The crowd cheered, and Alex felt a deep sense of peace. They were leaving Fairview High, but they weren't leaving the work behind. Their journey was far from over. It was just the beginning of a new chapter.